Hi there, YouTube. Yes. And hey, you can see Caddy Bree this time. That's pretty awesome. Now, I'm going to try to adjust things before I'm not moving yet here. Let me see if I put that there. Oh, that's not going to work. All right. I tell you what will work if I put that there. There we go. What about there? There we go. I don't know if I like that or not. We'll keep it right here for now. But, all right, so today's hot topic. I, as you know, do not like getting into politics on my YouTube channel. I do not like doing so. But there is an issue which is facing us right now, and hopefully my phone doesn't fall off the edge of the seat there where I have it. But, and hopefully my dog sits back here in a second. She is strapped in. That's as far forward as she can possibly go. So if I get into an accident, she does have some kind of modicum of safety. And that leash that's attached to her neck is not what is strapping her in. I know you can see that. That is just attached and it's not attached to anything else. There's actually a deal that is plugged into the seatbelt receptacle. And there we go. That's what happens when you take off too quick. Your phone slides around. But there is a thing that is plugged into the seatbelt receptacle, and it is hooked to a ring on her back that then has a pad on her chest in between her forelegs. So that way, if we get into a wreck, that pushes, just like my seatbelt is here, it pushes on her chest, and hopefully nothing bad happens. But anyway, we have an issue facing us right now, a hot topic, and that is, of course, gun control. Now, I don't like getting into politics, but I feel that this is not just a political issue. I think that this is an issue which every American should be concerned about. And what I am about to say will make some people happy. It'll make other people mad. It'll make other people confused. I don't know. No one is going to agree perfectly with anybody else. But, we have this issue facing us today, and it keeps getting brought back into the forefront every so often. That, again, the issue of gun control. And, we've got people saying, we should completely ban assault weapons or magazines with that hold more than so many rounds. Well, first of all, they usually don't say magazines, they usually say clips, which is wrong. It's one of my pet peeves, chat, when someone says a clip when they mean a magazine. And so yeah, we've got all these different ideas floating around. Another idea that people have put out there is arming teachers in schools. And I heard something hilarious the other day that said I would not, and somebody actually said this, they said I would not trust half these teachers with guns. And my thought was, then why in the world are you trusting them with the education of your children if you're not going to trust them with guns? So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. I thought that was funny. But so yeah, we've got this issue going on, and people are talking about different things. So I'm going to just address my view of things. It is not my intent to belittle anyone else's view. Now, with that being said, obviously this is my viewpoint, so I think I'm right, and I think if you don't agree with me, I think you're wrong. However, I am open to discussion. I am open to intelligent discourse, shall we say. If someone wants to start flinging around insults and things like that, then I'm not open to that. But I am open to intelligent and rational discussion. But one of my first things that I think of when I think of gun control is that if someone drives a car into a crowd of people or drives drunk, we blame the driver. If someone sets a bomb off in a crowded area, we blame the person who set the bomb. If someone shoots some people with a gun, suddenly it's the gun's fault and we need to ban guns. That to me does not make any sense. All right, where is the outcry for? Where was the outcry for car control? Whenever that one crazy guy ran into that group of Antifa, I think it was. I don't remember how far back it was, but a year or so ago, year and a half, something like that. Where was the outcry for car control? And then all these different bombings and things. Where's the outcry there for that kind of thing? Now, I am not going to say, and a lot of conservatives will tell you that there is a nefarious agenda here from the left. I'm not going to tell you that. I'm not going to sit here and say they are trying to ruin the country, etc., etc. My viewpoint is that the liberals, because I'm very conservative myself, but my viewpoint is that liberals are doing what they think is right, but that they are wrong, if that makes sense. I think that their viewpoints are wrong, but they are doing what they think is right. And so that is my viewpoint of the other side of the political spectrum. But anyway, so there's a huge misplacement there. We blame the gun. Now, we've got people calling for assault rifle bans. And they've had to come up with a definition of assault rifle. They've had to decide what an assault rifle is because there's no such thing as an assault rifle. And I actually had someone point to, well, AR, it's right there, AR-15. No, that AR does not stand for assault rifle. It does not. Look it up. It stands for something else. But there's no such thing as an assault rifle, and there was, I'm not going to get into the politics of it. I'm trying very hard to remain factual and objective on this. All right, but yeah, there's no such thing as an assault rifle. That is something coined by two things: by video games and by people who want to make it sound like a horrible death machine. Now, one of the arguments coming out of the left is that these assault rifles, I'll go ahead and use that term, these assault rifles have no use except for killing. And by that they mean killing people. They'll say they have no use for hunting. They have no use for self-defense, which they do. They have a huge use for self-defense. That's immediately obvious. If you got an assault rifle, again, using their term, pointed at someone, if they break into your house, they're going to think twice about breaking into your house. They're probably going to try to get out of there as fast as possible. But let's think about some of the other uses for these assault rifles. First of all, we've got the sporting aspect. And that's not going to mean much to a lot of people. But there is the sporting aspect of these. The shooting, and people who do that, they get the same type of enjoyment out of that as, you know, people who play basketball, or people who play tennis, or people who race cars, or things like that. That to them, that is their sport. That is something they're good at. That is something they can do. And many times that's just something they have a natural talent for. And so there's the sporting aspect, and it's a legitimate thing. Just, you know, just like so many things. Then there's the relaxation aspect of it. And this is something that a lot of people are going to overlook. I myself, former military, retired, and, you know, I've got some mental issues. Nothing that I'm going to go out and kill people. Alright? But when I get my hands on an AR, and I am able to shoot it for a while, and then I go back and I clean it, that is just so relaxing for me. And it is so stress releasing. And it is amazing how therapeutic it is for me. And so that's something that is definitely being overlooked in these discussions. Now, I am, as you probably have already figured out, I am against a quote-unquote assault weapons ban. But what I am for is not, now I'm going to be careful here, is not stricter laws on who can get rifles and guns and all this. Not stricter laws. We don't need stricter laws. We need proper enforcement of the current laws. That is what we need. Proper enforcement of the current laws. Currently, someone cannot buy a gun if they have ever been admitted to a mental facility not of their own will. Alright, so let me explain that. If I feel like, oh no, I'm stressed out, I'm anxious, I might do something horrible, and I go to a therapist and I say, hey, I need to be admitted, later on I can still get a weapon. However, if I try to commit suicide or something like that, and the ambulance comes and they take me to a mental facility, I can no longer, from that day forward, get me a weapon. Alright, so anytime someone has been admitted to a mental facility and it was not their choosing to go, they can no longer get a weapon. Secondly, anytime someone has been convicted of a domestic abuse, they can no longer get a weapon. Alright, now, so, you know, that cuts out a whole bunch of this. People who are, you know, a bunch of the anecdotal evidence that I've heard fits in that category right there. Now, third of all, there's no such thing as the gun show loophole. The media, from what I've seen, has been really big about this lately. The gun show loophole needs to be closed. There is no such thing as a gun show loophole. Alright, so here's what the media thinks is the loophole. They think that if a dealer goes to a gun show, they don't have to do background checks. That's wrong. The dealer has to do background checks. There's no loophole. The thing that does happen is a private collector will sell to a private collector at gun shows, but they don't have to do background checks at any point in time. Not just at gun shows. So there's no such thing as a gun show loophole. No rules change because they are at a gun show. Now, one thing that we need to crack down on, I think, are straw man purchases. Now, the issue is, all right, right now it is not illegal to buy a gun to gift to somebody else, or to buy a gun, have it for a while, and later on sell it to somebody else. What is illegal, though, is to buy a gun and then give it or sell it to someone who is not allowed to have a gun. But you don't have to do any background checks. A straw man, now there's a fine line there, okay? A straw man purchase is buying it with the intent to give it to somebody who cannot own it. All right, that's a straw man purchase. So what we need to do is, there's the link, I think, that we are missing. And I don't have a good answer, because one way or another, more legislation is going to cause a loss of freedom for somebody. But we have to balance that loss of freedom with the safety of our citizens. If we go too far in the safety of our citizens, we have then become a tyrannical government who controls the citizens, and the citizens have no freedom. However, if we have no legislation, then, oh, there's Caddy Breed. If we have no legislation, then we risk descending into anarchy. There has to be a balance there. There has to be a balance. Right now, I'm speaking off the cuff here, so I don't have a good balance in my head where I can say this is where the balance needs to be. But there has got to be a balance. Now, I do know one thing. The Second Amendment does clearly say the right of the people to bear arms shall not be infringed. So, we've got to follow that. Well, I mean, we have to. We have to follow that. And so right now we can't, in my opinion, you know, other people disagree with me. Go ahead, it's fine, you're wrong, but go ahead. In my opinion, that means we can't ban certain weapons, because the Second Amendment says the right of the people to bear arms shall not be infringed, and that is an infringement upon their right. And so, you know, we've got to have some serious discourse. We've got to have some serious discussion between the left and the right, and we've got to come up with a solution somewhere in the middle. We've got to say, okay, how can we protect our children without infringing upon people's rights? That's just the way it is. How can we do this? We've got to come up with some type of solution. And again, we've got to balance legislation with freedom. We've got to find that balance. And again, that's when I may talk about this more later. I'm running out of time here. I'm getting ready to pull into school. So I'm going to get going. But I may be talking about this again a little bit more later, especially as I have a chance to give it some more thought. But if you have a comment, whether you like what I've said or dislike what I've said, let me know in the comments below, and go ahead and leave me a like. And if you've not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe. And as always, I'm Sapper Woody, and it's been fun.